got a back tire that's gonna stay in the
This is RV learning at its finest. If you take your hub off and all this stuff falls off on the ground, that's your problem. Some kind of error message on the dash here. It says I need to check the trailer brake wiring. I'm looking at the tire pressure management thing. The back right wheel is a little warmer. So I'm gonna get out and see what I can find out. Just go take a look. I'm gonna check the plug. It has been raining, so I don't know if the plug's in good. I don't see anything that's obviously tires look okay. They don't feel hotter than normal. I don't know if maybe it's liquid or rain getting in that 7-pin cable, just causing a bad reading. Let me just see if the hazard lights are working on the back of the RV. Yeah, so the hazard lights are working. It doesn't seem to be a taillight issue. I'm gonna keep watching it, but I think right now it might just be an issue with rain getting in that 7-pin harness. I made it. So did you find out anything? Did you see any?
Some people said when it got damp, it would go off, and they took it to the dealership a couple times. They said it was a trailer issue, but it's been back and forth. Some people have had the same issue with no solution.
I don't know why unless that sensor's just off. That back right wheel is just showing a little warmer than the others. Okay, well, let's just keep an eye on it and see what we find out. Okay, the message has not come back, thankfully, since we pulled over. So hopefully what it was is there was just a loose connection or some moisture or something in that connection, and unplugging it, plugging it back in kind of solved the problem. Fingers crossed that's it, and we're good to go from here on out. We made it to Shiloh Vineyards, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, Laura got wine. There's a lot.
No, it says Shiloh Vineyard.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just like, yeah, you finally got your wine. No, so this is our first Harvest Host stop, and so far we're really impressed. All this property is over 100 years old in their family, and there's just a lot of history and a lot of cool stuff behind it. They're very welcoming to us, and so far we're super impressed. And the wine is pretty darn good as well.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's very good. And he didn't just tell us about how they make the wine, but he took us through the old barn and one corner of it and showed us where they were actually fermenting some wine and
getting ready
did one of his stirs for the day while we were there, because they're just a small winery. And what did he say? They produce like 12,000 bottles.
Last year they did 12,000 bottles of wine and predicted to do more this year. But
we did a tasting, and we did some white and some red, and there were some flavors that were very unique. It was very good.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. It's very, very good. They were really awesome. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful out here. The kids are running around, fishing.
the pond is really nice. Lance has already been fishing at the pond.
Broke his line.
Yeah, he swears it must have been a whale, because that's the only thing that could break Lance's line.
We're hoping for cooler temperatures to get a breeze going through the RV because this is going to be our first night without
No
AC.
air conditioning.
We have been running the AC like nobody's business.
If you're from
it's been
Louisiana, to have a night with no air conditioning seems pretty sketchy. Like, I don't know how do people really sleep without air conditioning? And I've heard rumors. I don't know that I believe them. So if you guys are in Wakeeny, Kansas, need a place to stop, swing by Shiloh Vineyard and Winery and check them out. You'll be super impressed.
Yep.
So we had to pull over again. The error message from yesterday, the trailer brake wiring alert came on again in the truck. Pulled over to check, I was going to check the connection again, and then when I got out to just look at the tires, it definitely smells really bad. So I went and got the infrared thermometer and checked the tires. This one, the front tire here, is reading about 100 degrees. My back one is right now is reading 350 degrees. So there's obviously something wrong. So we do have the TST tire pressure monitoring system that measures pressure and the temperature, but it's reading fine today. Like it doesn't, everything reads fine. So it doesn't, see, I can't even touch. This wheel is hot to the touch. We've got a problem we've got to solve before we get back on the road.
How are we gonna attempt to solve it?
I'm not sure exactly where to start with this. Internet's not really good, so my Google skills might not be very useful. I'm gonna take a look around and see if there's anything obviously wrong. Like I said, I'm not a brake guy, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be able to do this behind your drum brakes. So lesson learned, we should probably have a bottle jack. We don't. So we're doing basically the only thing I know to do is we've unhooked the rig from the truck and using the auto leveling system to try to get this wheel off the ground and take a look and see what we can do. And look like that worked. So the next thing is I need to see how hot this is and see if I'm going to be able to remove this drum.
What are you gonna do with it when you remove it?
Well, I really just want to try to clean out the scrap metal pieces because I can obviously see there's something broken in there. And if I can get those out just enough to where I can put the wheel back on without it burning things up, then we'll be good until I can get to a tire shop. So it's still reading about 150 degrees, which is 200 degrees cooler than it was before. So we're trending in the right direction. Before we went full time, I did try to make a toolkit that would get me through most repairs. I, however, don't know if I have the tools required to remove this drum. I'm gonna kind of have to be winging this. Let's see what's what. Let me try just spinning it. So, come here, can you hear that? So this is part of our problem. You hear that rattling around in there? That's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to spin freely. There's a Zerk fitting.
There's a what?
Zerk, Z-E-R-K. It's a Zerk fitting you can use to lubricate the bearings. I think we're past the point of adding grease to solve the problem though. So we've decided to phone a friend being my father. Laura's trying to get him on FaceTime or Hangouts or video chat and get an expert opinion on best how to proceed. Hey guys!
You're gonna have to take your center hub off where you can, that. Take that off. Right, you're going to bump it off with your hammer and a screwdriver. Just bump it right in drive it right in between behind the silver part. Just separate it.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to bend it out. That's what holds that nut on there.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, it ain't tight.
Yeah, okay. That's what you want.
The spring just fell out.
You got a back tire that's going to stay in the
Whoop. Is
There
it?
you go. There you go. That's good. That's all your problem.
Fun fact, I learned this. This is RV learning at its finest. If you take your hub off and all this stuff falls off on the ground, that's your problem. So, just fun fact for anybody else out there in the same spot. Good news, we got the hub off. As soon as we pulled the hub off, all of this fell out. So obviously we had some type of major malfunction. So all the drum brakes, everything kind of fell out. I didn't have to undo really anything. So that was obviously our problem. I'm surprised we didn't have a bigger issue than we did with all of this stuff kind of just being loose in there. Good news, all the bearings seem fine. Put the hub back on, everything spins okay. So I think we're good to go. We'll obviously won't have any brakes on this one, but we've got brakes on the 3 other wheels, so I don't think that'll be a big issue. I'm just going to tape these wires up to the axle, just kind of keep them out of the way until we can get to a brake shop sometime this week. All in all, it was a major blow up, a major issue, but we solved it readily quickly. Thanks, Dad. So we are going to proceed to the state park, and hopefully we make it there without incident. We are running drastically behind schedule. I think they close at 7, so hopefully we get there before then, or we're gonna have to do a late check-in or something. So, here we go.